Melanated Perspectives. The only thing that's changed is the name. We're back, you all. It's been since what, November?
Yeah, last year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hope the holidays were as good as they could be during COVID time, right?
True that.
We're back. We're excited because we've got a new thing going on here, Tara.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
We do. We have a new podcast editor. Big shout out to Joshua. We appreciate you. And we also have really cool new music. I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you leave a comment. That's also from Joshua. We are super excited to have him.
Yes, we are.
Thanks a ton. He
gave us a recommendation for a new microphone. We hope you like it because we got that too, baby. We're so excited. You're going to see our new picture of us and everything.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Same people, but just brand new energy, brand new editor, music. I mean, this is exciting. We came back with we really need to give Tara credit because she was the one saying we need to get a little revamp, a little new blood, new energy. So props to you, Tara.
No, let's be real. Ronita has been serious about this since the beginning, and I loved it, but it was totally a hobby. We are going hard in 2021. So this is thanks to you. But enough of that madness. So, a few episodes ago, we had talked about my journey to living a more authentic life and, just being more focused and centered. And so this episode, we are going to get to talk to Ronita a little bit about her journey into this natural life. Okay? So,
natural, baby.
So I'm just going to start at the beginning, Ronita. When we say, like, the natural life, and I did air quotes, y'all, what does that mean? What are we talking about?
Okay, so natural really means that you're using clean products. So no dyes, no chemicals, as natural and as clean as they can be. No paraffins, sulfates, and this... you want me to just get into how this all got started for me?
Well, that was my second question.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I do that, I will say this is just me giving a little tip if you decide to be on the natural train, or if you're on there, just be very aware because it's very cool and trendy now to put natural on products. And to me, it's a little frustrating because people see that and think they're good, whether it's a skin product, whether it's something to eat. You actually need to read the ingredients because they'll say, if you read the fine print, it might be like, yeah, they have some natural almond oil in there, but the rest of it is chemical laden, or it's produced in some kind of lab. So if you can't read and understand the ingredients, that tells you something. Now, I just want to be clear. I am not one to knock people. You use whatever product you want to use. This was just my own choice, and also something I explained to my family why I was doing it, and went that route. So my husband knew, and then of course for my son. So this all got started when I was pregnant. And if you all listen to our episode about pregnancy and our journeys through that, mine I did not enjoy. And I was often sick. Not often, like a majority of the time, like 95% of the time. So I think one of the issues was that anything made me sick. So I started to really think like, and no knocking Bath and Body Works, but I'm going to keep it all the way real. I had those kind of plugins in my house. And because I just always felt sick, I said, you know what? Smells are a big thing when you're pregnant. So I unplugged those. And then I can't tell you really, other than something just made me go, let me start just looking up ingredients and just maybe the effects of them, because I thought, I'm going to bring this child into the world. This child you're pure when you come out, right? No, you've not used any product, nothing. You haven't breathed in any terrible polluted air yet. No secondhand smoke. So I think really when I thought about that, I said, let me start just paying attention to more products and because, as a pregnant person, Tara, you can attest to this. It's very important about what you eat, right?
Mm.
And knowing the doctors that go over different things that aren't really safe. So I thought, if I'm already on the train of being very careful of what I consume for my child, then why don't I pay attention to also what's going in my skin, on my skin? Because if you all aren't aware, one of the quickest ways to get something into your system is through your skin. It's our largest organ, right? So I was like, okay, lotion, soap, deodorant, all that stuff goes right into my skin. Then I'm carrying this baby, goes into my baby system. It kind of got me a little freaked out, but I was like, okay, I know that there's options out here. And it's kind of like I was aware of clean or natural products, but I didn't really put that much thought into it. So I started getting into the essential oils and just putting that in a diffuser for my house, really for the smell. I mean, a lot of people talk about some are energizing and some do different things, but I really was just like, okay, I know this is a safer way to do it. I started really looking at what lotions and soap that I was using and realized, okay, I'm going to cut back on the heavily fragranced ones that are fragranced with pretty much fake fragrance, and then look into, if I want a fragrance, there's a lot that are made with the natural oils that you can get. It came down to deodorant, which I know, people have lots of feelings about the aluminum and the antiperspirant versus deodorant. And I understand it's not always, it takes a while to get used to these things. But in the end, I was like, it was worth it. What's another thing?
Right.
Just go ahead.
Okay. So I hear what you're saying about the why part.
Okay.
And kind of how it started.
Yes.
But let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
You and I knew each other way back when you were rocking Bath and Body.
Everything.
And
yes.
all of that jazz.
Yes.
So from then to now and past pregnancy, have you noticed any emotional, physical, what's another one? Have you noticed anything that's changed? So you talked about how you felt during pregnancy. When you made the switch, was it an immediate change? And since then, how have you, what do you get from it? If anything.
Right. Well, what I get is the satisfaction I get really is knowing that I'm using things that I feel comfortable using because I can actually tell you what's in something, right? Before I would use Bath and Body, for instance, and the list was so long, and at the end was the dyes. Well, I've read different things about, the effects of dye. So in my mind, I thought, let's say even if I was wrong, I knew what I was doing wasn't hurting anything. And if it wasn't as great as I was told, I was like, okay, well, what did I do? I spent a little money, but I can't say that, necessarily my skin looked different or whatever. But I think because of my son, I was just and he had eczema as a baby, and that really concerned me because a lot of stuff they recommended for eczema, sometimes first it was steroids, and I was like, I didn't want to give that to my baby. And then it was well, all these scents and chemicals in there. I was like, how can that help your skin? So it took some trying, and let me just be very clear. We went through a couple of hoops, and I would start reading stuff and they would say side effects potentially, and it would freak me out. And I would tell my husband, we're not putting this on our son. And he totally understood. He was like, if it says something that sounds scary, we'll figure out something else. Now it's a trial and error thing, right? Because I didn't know, and I'm dropping some money, and sometimes it felt wasteful. But at the end of the day, I felt like at least I could look at my kid and go, look, mommy did some research. She wanted things that were safer. So at least I felt like these are safer. Now, do I know, what are they going to tell us? 50 years from now, there's probably something that's even better,
Sure.
Right? But I just felt like anything that I could do to remove. And also, to me, this is all about toxins, right? We can't remove the polluted air. Like, that's not in our control. So in my mind, maybe it's also a control thing, but it was like, I can control like having plants in my home. I can control what kind of, what foods we're eating. I can control what we put on our body. So at least I felt like I have some sense of, okay, I did my part.
Okay. Okay.
If that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. And I hope you don't hear like judgment. I'm just asking the questions.
No,
I'm asking what the people want to know.
That's right. No, and people do think, no, that's a really good thing to bring up the judgment, because I know you're not judging me. But, people definitely say things to you and think like, oh, you're on some hippie train. Okay, well, if you call me a hippie, it doesn't offend me.
Did you get that from like people you care about? Because who cares about other people?
Well, you get a little bit of either questioning or pushback, like, oh, you don't use this, as if you think you're better. And my thing is that it's not that I think I'm better. I'm making a choice for my child. It's not any different than somebody making a choice to take their child to a certain church, right? That's your choice. You decide what you want. But I think, my dad actually said this, that when you do different things, it's really when somebody maybe makes a snide comment or is like, oh, you use those products, like what's wrong with good old Vaseline? He said he really thinks it's really a reflection of themselves. They're feeling like, oh, something that I did, maybe not okay. Or it's like maybe they're questioning their own parenting. And that's not what I want to be clear. I'm not trying to do that. Like, Tara's been my friend, and I will make jokes and say, girl, don't use that, whatever.
Rewind. Not just random jokes. She is on me, people. But let's not make this about me. Carry on.
No, but that's a good thing. Like, do you feel but that's a good thing to go into for a second. Do you feel like I'm on you?
I feel like you have comments about certain things.
Okay.
Because I can't stand a house that smells like food. You know that.
Right.
So, like, I try to go hardcore on the plug-ins so that my house doesn't smell like dinner from last night. And you would say, like, that stuff is not good for you. And it's like, okay, Mom, I hear you. But no. It's never been like I'm going to push my agenda on you. I've never felt that. I'm cracking jokes and wondering if you heard it from your family.
No, but that's a fair thing to do, because, right, when you feel strongly about something, I know as a person who feels strongly about a lot of things, it's hard sometimes to make sure you're not crossing the line of pushing something where somebody feels judged or it rubs them the wrong way. No, to be fair, you're saying you don't, right?
Right.
But I'm saying that's a fair thing that I have to be careful of, because I've read enough stuff that makes me go, I can see very quickly why I can drop these products. And it was relatively easy for me to go, boop. And like, we made jokes. My mom and I would say, we used to go to like all the Bath and Body sales to have stock in them, because we were going there so much, right? So to go from that extreme to dropping it, I really, honestly, it might sound funny, but I thank my son, because I feel like he helped me to make a healthy change that I'm like, well, even if this was a bunch of malarkey or baloney, what did I really hurt? That's, I guess, where I think. Like,
well, let's talk about the pocketbook. You mentioned dropping some money before.
Mm-hmm.
How different is like these natural products from something we could run out to Target and buy? I mean, and not that you can't buy natural products from Target. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But just like whatever we're currently using.
So yes, you're going to notice that there is, it is typically more expensive, right, to purchase these things, because they're so clean and they're made from...
Here she goes. They're so clean, guys. They have to do such extra work to take the chemicals out rather than not put them in. But no, for real.
No, that stuff costs more. That's why of course, the price is going to go up, right, as opposed to something I can run and make in the lab real quick and make a whole vat of something that as opposed to going to a plant, right, and taking, like, getting oils, for instance, sunflower oil, right?
Okay.
So the amount that it's going to take of sunflower to get that oil, as opposed to, like, when people use, like, vegetable oil or whatever. It's going to take more work, and so you are paying for that. And some people, they go, well, that's enough. So to me, you maybe, if you decide this is a journey you might want to take, do one thing at a time. Decide, okay, I'm going to just change, like, my lotion and soap.
Well, let's start there.
Okay.
So tell me what you used to buy and give me a range.
Okay.
And then if you feel comfortable.
Yes.
We did not talk about this before. I didn't give her my questions, y'all. And then talk about what you're getting now and how different that price is.
Okay. So, for instance, before, that's a great question though. I used to use the Target brand, which is like Up and Up. It was probably like $3 something, right?
Okay.
So now some of my products are Dr. Bronner's soap, which you can use for a lot of different things, which some people really like because it's truly multi-purpose. Or like Alafia. Now, those Dr. Bronner's is something I will try to find on sale, because you could spend up to like maybe $13 or more for, what is it, maybe 32 ounces. I have it in my closet. I didn't bring my products out. So that's significant, right?
Yeah.
And then Alafia, you can find it at Target or online, and that can be maybe about $10.
Okay.
So my thing is, and Tara knows this, and we haven't exactly talked about this, but I am a budget person. I'm a coupon person. So I do typically look for when Target's running a sale, or if there's some coupons or deals. Yeah, so I have let go of, I'm going to spend more. Like I said, for me, it's like, if this is my health, it's so worth it.
Yeah.
You know? Because I feel like if I do this, potentially I would be less likely to have to pay bills as far as the doctor or having some health issues later in life. Now, some people might listen to this and be like, oh my God, she's cuckoo. It's just the idea that I want to know what's going into my body, right? And I want to know what's going into his body too. And so when I started reading these different things that you could hardly even pronounce, and then when you read like, oh, something could be minor to some people, but like skin rash, then it can go to respiratory issues. I mean, just stuff that I was like, this can't be a good idea. And think about, especially in the winter, you're applying that lotion how many times? It just started to really like mess with me. As opposed to when I read something and it's coconut oil based, or almond oil, or aloe vera juice, sorry. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, okay. I wanted to give people an idea of the difference in cost, because that's what I think about. Not that I don't care about my son's health, but like what's the difference if I decided to give it a shot?
Right.
Okay.
And this is, like I said, this is coming from a very budgeted person. And let me just be really frank and honest, a person who does not make a lot of money. So in my mind, I kind of feel like if I can figure it out, other people can too. I don't want the money to keep somebody from this train if they realize they want to do it. Like I said, take one step at a time and decide what you want to remove. I mean, nowadays, Aldi, which is one of the cheapest grocery stores, even has, everybody's groceries now. I know, is there really a cheap grocery store? But coconut oil. They have coconut oil. Mm-hmm. So, and that's something you can use yes, you can have a separate jar in your kitchen, right? But a separate jar in your bathroom. And so the idea, you can use it for conditioner. I've used it for conditioner because I have dry hair. You can use it in your kitchen for cooking oil. You can use it, like if your child diaper rash, instead of those creams, I use the coconut oil.
Okay, so I'm making a face, y'all.
Yeah, she is. You guys can't see her.
Because, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will preamble this by saying that I love my child very much. And I don't want, let's talk about my hair. I dig my hair and I want to keep it healthy, right? Mm-hmm. But when I think about a product that I can use to cook my shrimp and wash my hair, that's hard for me to grasp.
Okay, so multi-purpose to you is the opposite of to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. I can use it for multiple things. But you see it as like one needs to stay in its lane, almost
Yeah,
like
stay in your swim lane. Exactly. So,
well, I guess I think of back in the day when they didn't have all these products, right? We didn't have the lab, we didn't have everything. So people went around, and I would say let's start with indigenous people who were here, right? They were very made use of their land and everything, right? Because what else do you have? So started realizing if I put this with this, if I mix this leaf and then you use like the mortar and pestle, right? And you like crunch them down. I guess to me it just makes sense that um going back to the basics and the whole natural piece is like we're using our land because what happened and I'm not against people making money and having a good life, but let's be honest, things started once we realized, oh, we can monopolize and we can make money off of this stuff and we can make huge vats of it. And if we make something that's similar and smells like, let's say you want lavender, right? Mm-hmm. We can figure out a way to do it in the lab and it's going to be a lot cheaper and send all this out as opposed to getting lavender from actual nature. Mm-hmm. So I guess I see it as back in the day, they didn't have all these things and they figured out ways for cuts,
Fair enough.
So, that's a good point because I'm sure there's other people, because like if you read Dr. Bronner's soap, it'll list so many different things.
Which freaks me out because I bought it once. I was like, I'll make this my son's bubble bath. And then it was like, you can wash dishes and your clothes. This is not right for me.
Yeah. Well, when you read the ingredients and you start to realize, oh, I guess to me that also makes sense. Like, yeah, this stuff could be used for a lot of different things because it's ingredients you actually understand. I guess, but how you feel is how you feel about it. And you're not going to be the only person who questions that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I also, sometimes things just, notice. Like, I noticed putting coconut oil on, was it an irritation or something? And I just saw within like 2 applications how quickly it was. I don't know if it was on my son's irritation or mine, to be honest. And I just realized to me how quickly like it was doing its job. And there was like, it's coconut oil. Like when you look at the ingredients, it says one thing, right? Mm-hmm. And there was now I understand that people have different allergic reactions. So just like anything else, you have to test it out. But then there's always other options to go to try. But I guess I was just kind of like, look how quickly this happened. There's no weird smell. It was like, I guess for me, part of the challenge is if I started to use something and then it said, well, it possibly could cause this, this, and this, the side effects started to make me go, well, I'm actually more scared of that.
The side effects than what you're trying to heal.
Yeah, okay. I was just like, never mind. And something else that happened that I used.
No, that's what I asked. Like, what did you experience that made you say, like this was the right choice? Not that it was in question, but it's like, oh, this is working. Maybe is a better question.
Well, yeah, that was one example. One was also the shea butter piece. Okay, so I buy shea butter. So if you all don't know, shea butter is in this little nut on a tree. And it's typically like, I don't know if you remember, but before I didn't really understand all this stuff. And I used to go to like festivals, specifically like the African festival here in St. Louis. And they always had this hunk of yellow stuff in a tub and it was shea butter. But it's like, it didn't click. And I was just like, okay, whatever. But then when this was like, I was younger. So now here I am, later 30s to 40s when this all went down. And it was like, you'll see in lotion, it'll say, oh, there's shea butter in here. Mm-hmm. Well, if there's shea butter, whatever the most of something in whatever product is listed, it starts from the top to the least amount, right? So I used to be like, well, if shea butter's in there, but it's not until 20 down, but the first ingredient is water, and I'm trying to moisturize my skin.
Good point.
It was just like, it didn't quite compute, right?
Yeah.
So when I got the shea butter, I started just buying straight shea butter, right? So when my son, the whole issue with the eczema came about, and keeping kids with eczema or anyone with eczema, the whole big thing about is being moisturized, right? And keeping the hydrated skin. Because if you have that, then you necessarily won't start getting the itchy thing, and then they start scratching, and it's a terrible cycle. So one of the things when we were trying to really get it under control, we took him to a dermatologist. And the first thing she said is, whatever you're using to moisturize your child, keep it up. He's like really, his skin is really, he still had the patches, but his skin wasn't dry. And we were using the shea butter. Now, like I said, it took a while to get that under control, but that's also can be linked to your diet and what you eat. So that's a whole nother subject. But it just made me go like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But once I started to really understand ingredients and go, what is this and what is this supposed to do? And like, for instance, Vaseline. You know what Vaseline is? Petroleum based. You know what petroleum is? Gas. So I'm sorry, for me, there was nothing anybody could say that there's enough that they pumped out to make this safe to plaster it on your skin. Like, it just messed with me. And let me be clear, back in the 80s when I grew up, my mom slathered that petroleum. But I grew up. I understand we grew up with certain things, and you're welcome. You're welcome to do it. It just started really making me think, is this the best? Like, am I doing what I can do? Is this really like safe? I mean, it did. I don't know if I'm giving enough examples. I think when you read the research and what they say a lot of this stuff is connected to, that freaked me out. And I was just like, okay, I'm good. Like, I'll just go over here and do these things. And like, I just want to repeat this and be clear. You do have to everybody has different reactions to their skin, right? So you do have to have a little test, because there's a lot of products that will say we don't have coconut oil because certain people have found that to be
coconut is a nut.
Yeah, it's a nut.
Yeah.
So it's real. So then you have shea butter, you have almond oil, you have like, for instance, in the deodorants I use, there's a lot of issues with baking soda. So people will say it's baking soda free, and they'll use arrowroot powder, and they'll remove that because that irritates some people's skin. So yes, there can be something, and so you just have to. It takes a while, and to be fair, I think I'm patient, so I kind of had to try some different things. Did I get frustrated? Of course, because sometimes you would try something and be like especially with the deodorants, I'd be like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Truth.
But I don't know. Maybe people with aluminum-based antiperspirants had that issue too. Maybe certain ones reacted to your skin. I don't know. But, it is. It's a trial and error and being patient. But for me, it was like I felt worth it. And because of being a parent, and I'm sure you can attest to this, there's a layer of like protection. And I felt like I need to do what I need to do to protect my kid. And this is one way that I felt like I could do it. And, so.
Okay. So for our listener,
yes,
who is like, okay, all right, Ronita, I'm going to give this the shot.
Right.
Give them a baby step. You mentioned like start with something small, like lotion or soap.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a recommendation for the beginning? Is it the shea butter? Is it Dr. Bronner's? Like, where would you have somebody who is hardcore Bath and Body, Gain, all that? Where would you have them start?
I would have them start Alafia. I would start there because they have soaps, bar soap, if you like bar soap. They have body wash, but they have ones that have scents. So if you're really like, I still want a scent, because some people are like, I don't want that. It smells like nothing. They have a lot of choices. Bronner's has a couple: peppermint, citrus, almond. If it was detergent, I would say 7th generation. Lavender is a very common one, and I'm not even a fan of lavender. But it seems to be just a common one that, because you can do the essential oil in there, and a lot of people, it's a calming scent too. And the people use that for rest and stuff. So, seventh generation is if you want to just start with one brand, and you can get it at Walmart, Target, I'm pretty sure Walgreens, and even some of your grocery stores. Start with just that brand because they cover dish soap, they cover laundry detergent, they cover cleaning supplies. And that way you could start there, and you can get them at those stores. People know Walmart typically is reasonable. Target has sales and different deals, so I feel like you could start there.
Okay. Let's give our people a bit of homework. What do you have for them?
I got
You
homework.
should see this face. I'm always giving homework, but I don't know a thing about.
Well, no, my homework is give seventh generation a try. Pick one of their products. Let's say you do the dish soap, the laundry detergent, the cleaning. Just pick one of their, since they do cover an array of things you can do to take care of your home, and try that. Just try one of their products, see what you think. Try the whole bottle, give it a chance, because, all new things take a minute, right? It takes an adjustment. Try it and see what you think after that.
Okay, and I want to hear from you guys. After you try it, let me know if I should try it, because, No, I'm just kidding. But I would like to hear from you guys. Like, try it, give it a shot, and then let us know what you think.
And one last thing. When you're grabbing a seventh generation, shout out to you all, look at the back. Look at the ingredients. And I just want you to see how many things you can read and actually know what they are. That's another part of your homework.
Okay.
And you can actually hold it up to a product that you use that's similar and tell me. Just for comparison.
Okay. All right.
Thanks for joining us, y'all. We'll be back. We hope you enjoy our music and all the new stuff we've done.
Thanks. Peace.